The human settlement, transport and communication. A cluster of houses where human beings live is called a settlement. Settlement may belong to villages or rural or towns and cities or urban. A modern settlement comprises buildings, means of transport and communication, and inhabitants of the settlement. Origin of settlement. The ancestors of modern man were nomads and they lived in caves. These dwellings were the first human settlements. They were not continuously inhabited as man had to move from place to place in search of food. Man started settled life when he learned to grow crops. The importance of leading a settled life increased as trade and commerce grew. Thus, the first towns came into existence. Along with it, different types of buildings like schools, temples, mosques, town halls, hospitals, etc. were built. Today, we have well-planned cities and multi-storied buildings, broad roads, well-planned sewage system and sanitation and other facilities. Every settlement needs a source of water. This is why the earliest cities of our ancient civilizations grew on the banks of river valleys where water was available in plenty. Fertile soil and moderate climate encourage agriculture and other economic activities. Such conditions are found in plains. They also have flatlands, which favor the development of transport and communication and encourages trade. The transport junctions are good sites of settlement. People settle at those places where they can easily earn their living. Therefore, settlements come up near industrial areas and mines. Sometimes tourist places and places of historical importance also attract settlements. The designs of houses and the materials from which they are built depend on the natural conditions at the site. For example, the areas prone to floods, the houses are built on raised platforms. The areas where it rains or snows a lot, the houses may have slanting roofs that allow rain or snow to slide off. In hilly areas, the houses are built of stone. Rural and urban settlements. On the basis of type of occupation practiced by its inhabitants, the settlements may be rural or urban. In rural settlements, most of the people are engaged in primary occupation like agriculture, mining, fishery, and forestry. The products are directly derived from nature. Villages are examples of rural settlement. In urban settlements, people are engaged in secondary and tertiary occupation. They either work in industries or provide services like health and education. Towns and cities are examples of urban settlements. Temporary and permanent settlements. Depending on the length of time for which they are in use, settlements may be temporary or permanent. Temporary settlements are those that are occupied for a shorter period of time. Tribes living in deserts, tropical rainforests, and other inhospitable environments built temporary settlements. However, most of the settlements that we see today are permanent settlements. They are not abandoned and remain in use continuously for several years. Compact and dispersed settlements. The settlement where all the houses are built side by side, leaving narrow lanes and by-lanes, are called compact settlements. There are collective amenities to serve the people, like schools, places of worships, hospitals and markets, etc. Dispersed settlements serve few families, and houses are scattered in isolated places. Life is simple and quiet, as there is little opportunity for social gathering. These types of settlements are found on highlands or farmlands. Patterns of rural settlements. Circular pattern. They generally develop around a lake or pond or an oasis in a desert area. When the people settle around such a water body, it takes the shape of a circular pattern. Linear settlement. This type of settlement develops along the highway or railway line or along the canal or a river in which all houses are built in a line. Rectangular pattern. This type of settlement generally develops at the crossroads and the houses are built side by side, leaving lanes and by-lanes. Triangular pattern. Sometimes the settlements develop at the confluence of two rivers and the houses are built in between the two rivers that ultimately grows into a triangular pattern. Patterns of urban settlement. Cities are large and compact in size. They have all amenities of life and they also support non-agricultural functions such as education, hospitals, industry, transport, etc. Urban centers can be classified on the basis of their functions. Industrial towns. They are largely concerned with the processing of raw material into finished goods. Bhilai, Ludhiana, Jamshedpur, etc. are primarily industrial towns. Market towns. They act as market sites for the exchange of goods. They are mainly the collection and distribution centers for goods. Administrative towns. Such towns perform the functions of administration. Cities of Delhi, Washington, D.C., London are some examples. Cultural towns. Such towns are known for the promotion of country's culture and education. Shantiniketan at Birbhum is an example of cultural town. Port towns. These towns perform the function of a port, like Mumbai, Vishakhapatnam, etc. Resort towns. These towns are known for tourist attraction, for example Nainital, Mussoorie, Shimla, etc. Transport. The free flow of traffic and goods from one place to another constitutes transport. It is the lifeline of trade, without which the economic activities will come to a standstill. The development of transport has brought the different parts of the world in close touch, and the world has become a smaller place to live in. Origin of transport. In early times, transport was time-consuming and tiring process. As an absence of means of transport, distances were covered on foot and people had to carry their goods. Afterwards, domesticated animals came to be used as means of transport. This practice still continues in rural areas or at the places that cannot be reached by modern means of transport. So, the yaks are used to transport goods and people in Tibetan highlands. Camels are used in deserts and horses in European steppes. Elephants are pressed into service in tropical dense forest areas. After the invention of wheel, means of transport grew rapidly. Now we have speedy means of transport, which saves our time and energy. An efficient network of transport connecting cities, towns, factories and farms contribute to economic development. These means of transport operate in the air, on the surface of water, and on seawater. In the surface transport, roads and railways are dominant modes of transport. Roadways. Good roads are the integral part of infrastructure needed for the development of a country. Roads may be metalled or unmetalled, depending upon the level of economic development of a country. A road that has durable surface made of stone chips and tar is called a metalled road or pakka road, and a road that does not have a durable surface is called an unmetalled or kacha road. Travel by road has a definite advantage than by sea or air, as roads can connect and send goods at the doorstep. Moreover, they are easy to maintain and can be constructed with relative ease. In developed countries, there are special roads called highways where traffic moves very fast, as there are 6 to 8 lanes on which traffic can move simultaneously. They connect towns and cities separated by large distances. In Britain, they are called motorways, and in Germany, they are called autobahns. India is also progressing well in this regard, and our highways are also getting wider and better. In India, national highways connect different states, and state highways connect places within states. Some of them are expressways, which have wide roads, specially built for fast motor traffic. The latest development is the construction of Golden Quadrilateral and the north-south, east-west corridors that will join Srinagar to Kanyakumari from north and south, and Bhuj to Guwahati from west to east. This route touches many other important cities as well. The roads are also built in hilly areas and borders. The Leh-Manali Highway is one of the highest roads in the world. Railways. Railways are the important mode of land transport. They provide an estimate of technological development of a country. The construction of railways is expensive as it involves the laying of tracks. Plains and level lands are ideal for the construction of railways. However, the railway lines now run through high mountain passes and even join countries through Channel Tunnel. Nowadays, trains run at high speed due to electrification of railway tracks and electric locomotives. Although they are preferred for short distance travel, the transcontinental railways run over great distances. The densest network of railways is found in Western Europe and in East Central America, as they are the industrial parts of the world. In the African continent, railway lines are not well developed. India has the fourth largest network of railways in the world. We have developed a good network of railways in Sutlej-Ganga plain and moderately developed network over peninsular India. Waterways. It is the mode of transport which operates upon the seawater and rivers. Most of the world trade is handled by waterways. It is the cheapest mode of transport. It promotes international trade as it interconnects different countries of the world. Water transport may be inland or oceanic. Inland waterways include navigable rivers and canals. Rivers are the most important highways of commerce. The St. Lawrence Seaway in North America, which connects Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean, is the busiest inland waterways in the world. River Rhine of Germany and River Seine of France handle the voluminous traffic of Europe. Inland waterways support dense population along their banks. International trade is largely dependent on oceanic transportation, which is more economical. North Atlantic Ocean route carries the greatest traffic of all the ocean routes. It connects eastern part of North America with West European countries. Both the regions on this route are developed and hence there is a large-scale international trade. The Suez Canal in Egypt is a part of one of the most important oceanic routes in the world. It connects the Red Sea and the Mediterranean Sea. Before its opening, ships from Asia and Australia had to sail around southern Africa to reach Europe. Similarly, Panama Canal, connecting Pacific and Atlantic Ocean, enables ships to ply between east and west coast of North America without going all the way around South America. The Cape of Good Hope route connects Asia and Australia with Eastern America and Western Europe. Air transport. This is the latest development in the history of transport. This speedy but expensive transport system developed in the beginning of 20th century. It involves the development of advanced infrastructure such as airports fitted with latest technology and aircrafts that can fly at high speeds. As they require advanced technology, developed nations of the world are able to use air transport more intensively than the developing countries in Asia and Africa. The amount of air traffic in USA exceeds all other countries and has 7,000 airports across the country. There are international airports in New York, London, Paris, New Delhi, Mumbai, Tokyo, Rome, etc. In most of the countries, there are two types of airports, namely domestic and international. Some countries in Africa and South America still do not have facilities of air transport, as infrastructure for air transport is not easy to develop. Airways are of great importance in island countries and in countries covering large territories. Helicopters are especially useful for carrying goods and medicines to people stranded by floods, storms, and earthquakes, and for rescuing such people.